Hi, let me show you how to size an image for printing out at a lab. So they need to be 4 by 6 inches at 300 ppi. So here is my image. I need to go up to Image, down to Image Size. And in here, I have my option here set to inches. I want to first change my resolution to 300. And then the longest side, which for this image is the vertical side, I'm going to change that to 6. And notice it says 3.999, close enough, you're there, 4 by 6 inches, we hit OK. Then you want to save as, Shift-Command-S, as a JPEG, which it is. The labs can only print JPEGs, they cannot print TIFFs, they cannot print Photoshop documents, they cannot print PDFs, so it must be a JPEG, and we're going to call it 252 underscore 4 by 6. Actually, I did 6 by 4. And then we're going to save it to this folder and hit, well, actually, let's make a new folder in the 12-week technical called Prints. And we're going to hit Create. So all of the files will then go into this Prints folder. Easier to upload then. And for your JPEG options, you want to save as a quality of 10. You can go up to a quality of 12, but 10 is half the size of 12 according to our friends at Adobe and gives you the best quality, just like 12. So we're going to hit OK. So that is sizing for a 4 by 6. Let's say you have a square. How do you handle that? So let's go open a square image. Command O to open this. I'm still on my crop tool. Okay, so this needs to be on a 4 by 6 canvas. So let's do the same thing we just did. We can come up here to Image Size. Again, this time we're going to type in 300. And we're going to make it 4 by 4. You want this link to always be on no matter what you're doing in sizing. And we're going to hit OK. So it's square. If we were to send this to the lab, it would try to fit it into the 4 by 6 so it would crop off the sides. It would look really bad. So we need to come back up to Image. We're going to go to Canvas Size this time. We're going to leave it anchored in the center. And for our height, we're going to type in 6. And it's going to give us a white background. You can choose white, black, gray. Let's just go with white. And we'll hit OK. And now I have a 4 by 6 inch print of my square image. Perfect for the lab. Once again, we're going to do Shift-Command-S. We're going to go underscore 4 by 6. We're going to put it into our print folder. JPEG again. Hit OK. Output 10. Image options, that is. And boom. Now I'm ready to go to the lab and have these printed. Going to the lab means you can do it online. So I just use my neighborhood Walgreens for this project. You'll get them back in a couple of hours. And then you have to label the backs. So you just heard my dog barking. Wasn't that fun? She got to go on a little walk. And I'm back. So labeling the back, you can do it with a Sharpie. Print it out so I can read it. Or you can grab some labels and print out the information on a label and adhere the label to the back. So we need your name, first and last name, the technical objective, whether it was leading lines, rule of thirds, a triangular composition, and why this image meets the technical objective. So point it out, be obvious. I also want you to look up your aperture, shutter speed, and ISO and include that information on there as well. And everything must be in focus and properly exposed. I do know that there's a requirement for a out of focus that's aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, that's a different story, but the rest of the images should be well done. If you have any questions, let me know. A quick little review for finding the information that I asked for about your f-stop, your shutter speed, and your ISO. So if you go to the bridge, you click on the image, and you go down to the Metadata tab. If you don't see the Metadata tab in your window, you can always access it by coming up here to Window and clicking on it. It'll pop in. And remember, you can move these tabs around. But what you're looking for is the f-stop on this first image. The blue one is f11 at 1/320th of a second and an ISO of 125. If I click on the next image, it's f8, 1/400th of a second, ISO 125. The next one, f11, 1/6th of a second at ISO 800. I was hand holding that, you guys, but you can see the image is down on the ground, so the camera was actually on the ground. It was a pretty cool image. I needed the f11 for the depth of field so I could have the man in the background in focus as well, so we didn't want him blurred out. Let's see here. We hop over to this one, the cones with the arrows. It's f2.4, 1/20th of a second, ISO 125. So that's where you're going to find that information.